My testimony is I could not walk in 2019. I was wheelchair bound and confined from April of 2019 until the end of October. I had an accident with our dog on April 24th of last year. I was out in the backyard with Noah, who is a male Labrador Retriever. He knocked me down, then jumped on me. I was screaming bloody murder out in the backyard. James was in the shower. No one in my house heard me screaming except James. He came running out, then went back in to get his dad. They somehow carried me back into the house and set me in a rolling desk chair. Hubby thought I pulled a muscle, which I know I didn't. He went off to work while I was crying all afternoon and was in pain and hysterical. By 5:30 p.m. that night, I had James call 911. They came out, took me in an ambulance to San Jacinto Hospital on guard. James stayed with me the whole time. I was admitted by 5:50 p.m. They did blood work and a CAT scan and x-rays. It all showed I had a broken right knee and all the bones in my right leg were broken because of Noah. Once Dahlia found out from James, she came to see me in the hospital. Dr. Kevin Horn did not operate on me until May 3rd. I went into rehab in Clear Lake Kindred Rehab on May 9th and stayed there until the end of May. I had physical therapy and occupational therapy here at home and was given some medicine. I had a reaction to it and ended up back in the hospital on guard. Then after a few days, I was transferred to Kindred Rehab a second time for more therapy. I stayed there 2 weeks and came home. James was my 24/7 caretaker. He did everything he could because hubby and Marissa were working. Then when it came to doctor's appointments, James and I contacted Dahlia and she drove us there and then picked us up and brought us home. I did not start walking until the end of October 2019. Once I could get walking, I was using my walker. Then I walked from my room to James's room without my walker. The expression on James's face seeing me walk without my walker lit up the room. I was put on all kinds of medicines. They put me on the blood thinner Eliquis from May 3rd, 2019. I had to stop taking it on June 27th of 2020 because I was bleeding out of both nostrils and I was throwing up blood. Plus I had blood coming out of my left eye. My bathroom was a crime scene because of all the blood I lost. So I was in the hospital emergency room June 27th after 4 a.m. and then back June 28th in the emergency room after 7:20 a.m. They kept me there. Then I went by ambulance to Houston Methodist downtown. Before I went, the emergency room doctor put a balloon in my right nostril. I came back home to Baytown on June 29th by Uber. The hospital paid for me to ride home in an Uber. I got there by 5 p.m. Then in July of that year, I saw Dr. Gilfan, an ear, nose, and throat doctor. He took the balloon out of my nose, then cauterized both nostrils. On November 9, 2020, James had an emotional breakdown in the doctor's office at San Jacinto Medical Group on guard. I took him there, and he admitted himself on suicide watch 24/7. The next morning, they transferred him by ambulance to Houston Methodist downtown to the psychiatric ward. He got out on Thursday that week and came home. Then last year, James tried to commit suicide by trying to jump off the bridge. I called Baytown police. They went to look for him and then stopped by our house to let me know they found him. They then took him in the back of a police car to the hospital, and he was put on suicide watch again 24/7. They took him again the next morning by ambulance to Houston Methodist downtown. They put him in a psychiatric ward. He got out a week later. Since his suicide attempt last year, he's been seeing his psychiatrist here, Dr. Young. The last time James had an episode where I called the police was around the week before Halloween. James left the house with a bottle of his medicine from Dr. Young. They caught up with him on Chandler. Then they let James come home. I'm still James's caretaker. I was also diagnosed in 2019 as having neuropathy in my right heel, plus varicose vein disease in my right leg. I inherited this from my mother. I also have arthritis in my right knee and leg as well. Thanks for listening to our testimony. We love you a lot. You are an awesome lady. James and I are so blessed that Dahlia introduced us last year on April 20th.